Okay, there's been some recent activity on Workhorse stock, and there is a kind of a sideways SPAC that may be underway. I think this is the company that's going to do it. Find out all about it. Okay, so I would say that this is one of the companies behind this effort to take over Workhorse, not take over. Well, they're doing it. Well, these guys, these guys here are what they are: European industrial interests. A capital firm anchored by a $300 million commitment from European industrial interests. Commercial, blah blah blah. These are the guys. Here's what they are investing in America, and I think this is based on the big beautiful bill, which I'm going to go over at some point here. But you can see they got radial flux electric motors, fintech, we don't care. Harbinger Motors, that's our target. This is going to be the firm that's going to take over. I believe this is the firm I believe that's in discussions with Workhorse right now. And you can see lunar energy, propel air batteries for aviation. Okay, so these redwood materials, battery recycling. So these guys are looking to, and they got Zap Energy here too. So, these guys are, what they are doing, there you go. There they are, usual suspects. Okay, so here is the second investor that's behind this, is this Capricorn Investment Group, I believe. Looks like they're doing platforms serving private families and foundations and institutional investors. Looks like this is, big money private investment. So 12 billion under management, offices in New York City and Palo Alto. So, these guys are heavy hitters, I would think, or they may be a small fish in a big pond, big pond, small fish, whatever. Sustainable investment, breadth of experience, impact-driven investors. There you go. Looks like a pretty diverse group here. And connect with Capricorn. So I'm pretty sure this is the second set here. Let's see if we can find out what we do. Outsourced chief investment officers. See what I'm talking about? That they are. Anyway, this is the second financial force behind that. So these seem to be. Let's see, key themes and. Integrated approach to impact, environmental and social areas. So EVs, yeah, I would say that if I'm right about all this, this is the second source. Okay, now this I think is what all of this is about. What Workhorse has this is a video I made 4 years ago. Okay, on Workhorse. Market is overlooking massive competitive advantages. So they're finally recognizing if these guys, if I'm right about this. Okay, Workhorse fan they have. Let me just go through these slides here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, let's just mute this and let it play. What the deal is, and I'm going to try to find some footage after this. Dollar amount for conventional truck, 34 cents, 60% with illegal, 60% savings with electric vehicle, 40 cents, 04 cents a mile, 94% savings by using a drone. Okay, now here's the deal. I'm sure that's pure drone, but what Workhorse has, I think a lot of people are remembering this, is under Steve Burns, they developed a system, prototyped a system that mounted drones on delivery trucks. And so the truck would drive to a neighborhood. The drone, there'd be some mechanism in there to load the package. The drone would take off, from the truck in the streets and would fly into someone's backyard and drop a package off. And if I can find the video, I'm going to play the video later on this. The idea is you have the truck driver driving, and then you have the drones delivering as well at the same time, and the drone flies back to the truck and so forth. But anyway, if I'm not mistaken, Workhorse still has the patent, the intellectual property on this drone delivery system. And my last reporting on this was that they were testing it with pharmacy deliveries in North Carolina, I believe. And I think they had got some licensing or accreditation done on it. Here we go. Now here's the video of the Amazon. Now Amazon can't get the drone thing right. They have spent billions of dollars, and you see they have the new drone. They just did some PR on their new drone system. They spent billions of dollars on this, and they have been working on it for years. And the thing is, they have land-based drones, and they're talking about building a giant, like a beehive, like a drone tower, strategically placed in certain areas, geographic areas, and so forth. And it's going to have all these drones buzzing in and out of it like bumblebees all day long. And I'm like, well, who's going to put up with that? I mean, where are they going to put that at? Again, here's the Amazon Prime Air. Now, to the best of I think they may have this in limited production as well. However, it is not. It's not as elegant as the Steve Burns method. And now here's an example. Here's what they're talking about. Look at this. Look at that. That's what they're planning on. Who wants that? Where are they going to put that, right? And here's another idea they have. Giant blimp flying over. Give me a break. Who's going to put up with that flying over your neighborhood, buzzing around? Now, this is Steve Burns. At Workhorse, he developed, now everybody's coming up with these. Steve Burns is an underrated genius and one of the founders of, the whole electrical movement, and he's been much maligned unfairly. Anyway, this is a car he invented that those arms fold down, it could store in a garage. Self-driving, automated kind of thing. Now here is his concept. Let me see if I can get a better view of that. Here is his concept. Again, this is the Workhorse van. This is the Horsefly drone, and the customer has an app, and as the truck approaches, they pinpoint where they want the package to be dropped. That's the concept anyway. Here's a video. I'm going to show a video of this if I can find this there. Now here's what the concept video is. And I think this is what everybody's interested in, but I could be wrong. It could just be the electric vehicle. But here you go. She gets the package. She loads it in the Horsefly drone. Okay? And, she tells it where to go. And, it takes off, right? And it's got the package and it's gone, right? Now, here's the thing. The drone's out making the delivery. She takes off. And she's doing other deliveries. Okay? and the drone automatically finds its way back to the truck after it drops the package off. And, this could double, triple productivity. Now, if you add in Tesla self-driving on this or an Optimus robot, but forget all that. Just have a human driver. Now what Steve Burns said was, you don't just have to have one drone on a truck. You can have, 10 or whatever. And so, I don't know. I've always been fascinated. This is a much better alternative than anything that Tesla or friggin' Amazon has come up with. I mean, Amazon isn't even close with this. So I think this might be what they're after. Of course, Workhorse. And again, this technology was developed originally by Steve Burns, who split off the endurance pickup truck from Workhorse and opened Lordstown Motors, which is a story in itself. I have made many videos on that. That was a political assassination, if you ask me, on that company and on Steve Burns. And by the way, let me just say something here. I believe, and Foxconn played a big role in the demise of Lordstown Motors. I believe that Foxconn is an agent of the CCP, okay? And I believe that they shut down Lordstown Motors because they didn't want them. They didn't want the competition. But anyway, the Chinese did not want the competition, I'm saying. Anyway, I'm basing that on, they're building all new facilities in India to build the iPhone. I'm getting off the topic here. But for no reason at all, they're building new facilities to build the iPhone there. They recalled all their engineers from India back to China. Okay? That is not a reasonable action to take unless you're being managed by the CCP. And I think Foxconn was and is. Anyway, deeply integrated, these two. And by the way, those guys are investing in the Elon Flux motor, wheel motor. Of course, Steve Burns was into that, and the Lordstown truck also has had that for years. Anyway, I think this is what these guys are after. And they, as I said, I believe Workhorse still owns this IP. I think that's maybe what this is about. So this is Harbinger. I think this is, according to their output, the only reasonable candidate here. Again, very familiar vehicle. This is just like Workhorse truck. I think they have maybe a hybrid vehicle for medium duty. Anyway, and the thing is, they have raised, where is that at? Let's see. Again, 100 million in Series B funding. Okay, and by those two venture firms I mentioned. So this is what's going on with Workhorse. I think these are the players, and I think that gears are in motion. There's a 14-day stop on that. We're going to just go over that agreement real quick. There's a 14-day stop on that, and so that by the 28th they either have to do this deal or not. So, okay, I'm just going to try to go over this agreement. It's pretty complicated, but so this is on the website. This is their press release, and they're publicly traded, so this has to be accurate. The company, which is Workhorse, in discussions with a privately held U.S.-based manufacturer of commercial vehicles, which is Harbinger, I believe. They would be merged in a newly created subsidy of the company of Workhorse in exchange for issue of shares Transaction result in the current investors of the manufacturer holding a substantial majority of the company's outstanding stock. So these venture firms, the company stock would remain listed on NASDAQ, which is good for Workhorse shareholders. But at the end of this, and they aren't finalized on this, so I don't think I'm going to go through any numbers, but the venture firm is going to own the majority of the stock. And this Workhorse is going to remain as a corporate entity listed on the stock exchange, so these guys don't have to do a SPAC or anything, and they are going to bring the two companies together. And what they're going to do, basically, and you can either pause and read this or go on the website. It's you could tell these are some finance guys. This is incredibly complex, just this description. Anyway, they're going to retire all the debt and everything of Workhorse and do this reverse merger, or whatever you want to call it. They're going to bring this company, Harbinger, into Workhorse, and they're going to do all this. They're going to agree not to, I think they have a lockout period. Company would issue the investor 3 million shares of newly issued common stock, which would be subject to further adjustment. So there's going to be 3 million share dilution, a portion of which would be contractual, subject to contractual trading restrictions. They have the lockdown period and so forth. Whether that applies here or not, I'm not sure. But anyway, they're basically canceling all the debt and merging the two companies. And in exchange for this, they're going to get 3 million shares. And let's see, have they haven't said. Now the credit line that Harbinger has is 100 million, so it looks like that would be the deal, backed by those two venture firms. Potential refinance. They're going to sell and then lease back the factory to them, so on and so forth. Would be permitted to convert the remaining notes into the company. So this company's common stock. So this could be a big dilution. Okay, we got 3 million shares. Again, none of this is finalized, so we have not agreed to the final terms of the thing yet. Subject to a number of conditions, including approval by the company's stockholders in NASDAQ. So, implication is they're putting this up to a stock shareholder vote. So, in connection with the foregoing, on July 14th, the company entered into an exclusive with the manufacturer, providing for a 14 calendar day period of fiduciary, meaning they would not consider other offers for 14 days. So that's July 28th. Tesla's call is on the 23rd. So basically, you got a big dilution, at least 3 million shares. They're going to convert some other stuff to shares. But there's all kind of covenants in here and everything. It's complex. You can read it on your own. I don't want to give bad information here. I am not an accountant or a financial advisor. But what they're doing is they're going to get Workhorse out of debt and looks like provide some working capital. They're going to be part of this other group. And that other group is being financed by those two venture firms. And I think there's a reason for all of this happening. Now, I included the drone. I think the drone delivery is a big part of this, my opinion. I'm often wrong. Okay? But there's another reason for this as well. And let me get to that. Okay, now this is Eisman from The Big Short. This is his new podcast. I'm going to play some of this just with the captions. I don't want to get a strike and I don't want to steal this guy's. Now, this is his guest talking about the tariffs. And the thing is, he talks about the tax advantages of the new bill. The new bill is just crazy. It's basically, well, if you build a factory in America, you get to write that off 100%. Okay, 100%. If you build a factory in America, you can write it off 100%. Okay, that's a foreign. So in other words, if it costs me $1 billion to build a new factory in Ohio, which is where Workhorse is, he's saying I get to write $1 billion off my taxes, expensing of that. So it's like a 30% discount on the building cost, plus the tariff expenses, and there are also other advantages, and this is the Eisman playbook. So you get to write it off now. So here's the thing. I'm going to stop this now. I'm going to pause this now, and I'm going to go back to my own commentary. The thing is, there are so many advantages, and that one firm is European. If they want to do investments in America, this all connecting the dots. Okay, so this is the Workhorse website, and they're just going over. They have 3 or 4 product lines. They had a pickup truck. I don't think they show a pickup truck. The Workhorse pickup truck became the Lordstown Motors Endurance, and this van and also the Endurance, the Lordstown Motors van, were up for U.S. postal vehicles. Trump fired that postmaster general, and he rigged everything in the trials for that. I mean, the post office is a perfect application for electric vehicles. Couldn't be a better application. But this is Workhorse, and again, this company was founded by Steve Burns. He went through 20 different prototypes of the Endurance pickup truck, and this is shade tree in the backyard of Cincinnati, in the backyard, let's say backyard mechanic. And anyway, Burns is right up there, in my opinion, right up there with Musk as far as the electric vehicles. But anyway, Workhorse has had a successful product line. They have revenues. They have a manufacturing facility. What are they going to pay in this buyout? If they do, it's $200 million they're going to buy it, sell it, and lease it back. So what they're doing is they're going to get Workhorse out of debt, and they're going to give it a lot of money, and they're going to dilute the stock. So what does that mean for shareholders? I just just had an instance where a stock I was following had a PIPE, public investment private equity thing, where they were diluted, and just upon the announcement of that, the stock price dropped 50%. The effect of adding 3 million shares in this case, again, I'm not going to venture to, you're going to have to figure that out on your own. I'm not going to give financial advice. However, since we're going to go over the stock in a minute here, since Workhorse is, it's threatening losing its listing on NASDAQ, I don't know how low can it go, right? I guess it can go pretty low, but if you have these big forces, they can push the stock price around as well. That guy Eisman said, you got $10 million, you can push your stock. Jim Cramer said that too. push the stock price around. So, this is Workhorse. I went over the drone aspect. I think that's key here. And not to trivialize, I mean, Workhorse, again, you know, so many of these electric vehicles don't work, you know, and they don't work well. Now, BrightDrop with GM and Ford has the, I don't know what they call it, the Blue or Econoline. I mean, they all have commercial vans as well. But, you know, the big three and the major OEMs, they do not want to do electric. They just don't want to do it. And now with all the rest of the incentives gone, and they've already sunk their money into their plants, they're not going to get any credits. Whereas Workhorse, with this deal, can going to dilute their stock by 3 million whatever shares, but they're going to clear their deck of debt. I think this other company has 100 million. I don't know. You can expect they're going to get infusions. I would think this group would want to immediately take advantage of these tax credits and this immediate depreciation and full expensing of any building of a plant to expand operations. So let's just take a look at the Workhorse stock here. Okay, this is a AI-inspired technical analysis program. I use stockta.com. I highly recommend it. No links, nothing. And of course, these technical analysis, they change every day. Okay, so this is very short term, but this is what StockTA says in its analysis. Last trade was $2.10. Change is down 16 cents. The overall analysis is neutral. The short term is neutral, the intermediate is neutral, long term is neutral. I think that reflects pretty accurately everybody waiting to see what this deal is that knows anything about it. Here's your chart. This is what we're interested in right here. I don't know if you can see my pointer. We had two big volume spikes here. So, somebody's buying something. We have very little selling. So, it looks like, I don't know how many shares this is, but there's some whales in here getting in. So maybe this deal is done. We have resistance. What they say resistance is, the overhead resistance, they peg at 2.29. And support, they have support at, let me put my glasses on, they have support at, well, their main support is at $1.12. So if we tip them below $1.12, that's not going to be it. But this volume is super dicey, super suspicious. And then we got the fall, so this looks like the whale's getting in, the retail getting out, maybe. I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice. What do we got? Up, open gap. Okay, that was March 17th. So on bullish harami on the 16th, bearish engulfing on the 17th. So now here's your indicators. EMA is all bullish. The MACD is bullish, short and intermediate. The RSI is bullish, bearish. The fibs are bullish, intermediate. Now we got all these neutrals in here. And we got a bullish there, and we got the stochastics are bullish. So, I'm not a financial analyst or anything, but this looks like a stock waiting for something to happen. And I think that's where we're at. Neutral. And again, support, $1.12. that's $1 off, and resistance is 229. So we closed at 201 or 210. So we're not that far, flip a coin, and I'll tell you where you're at with that, but at least it's not all negative, okay? I think those volume spikes are super suspicious to me. I think these guys in Europe were buying maybe, I don't know. Don't take my word for it, do your own research. I'm not a financial analyst or accountant. Okay, so this is the 17th, July 17th, 2025, and Workhorse is up after hours a couple cents, and there you go, there's your chart, and I'm not going to have any, you can see this is after hours, so we're 219, let's see, 5 days, here's our 5-day chart. See, this is when the whales came in, and that is a downward slope there. Let's see what the SEC filings say. And these are, let's just see what this, I'm not sure what 425 is. Regulation D, disclosure, other events. The company is currently in discussions. Okay, so this is what their latest SEC filing is regarding our topic here. So that's what that is. Don't have to worry about that. And there's an 8K. Let's just see what the 8K says. And again, in discussion. So there's no new news. Let's see what the news is here. Latest news, Workhorse up 11% today. That's 1 day ago. Potential merger. Here's what our data says. Quiver quantitative. This is like some AI stock thing. Talk about a bunch of... Now this is old news because, they file these internal sales and stuff later. Hedge fund activity. Again, 2 added Workhorse to the portfolio, 6 decreased. And again, they don't report this as current data. So what they have is 2 hedge funds increased. See, we've got down 100%, down 100%, down 100%, down 100%, down 100%, up 75%, 5, so mostly everybody's selling out, and the insiders have been selling too, kind of, sort of. So that's what we have on there, and let's just see what the news is. Discussions, professional, the reverse merger or the merger, it's kind of a sideways SPAC. Okay, so that's where we are on the stock. So, what's going to happen to the stock? I don't know. But for the company, if this goes through, they're going to, this could be a big play on the big, beautiful bill with all the tax advantages. If they got a deep pocket connected, they got capital, they're going to wipe out all their debt. And again, I say they have that drone IP. I think that is, that's critical to my mind. I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But if you AI enhance that, and there's all kind of permutations and combinations you can do with that. But anyway, let's wrap this up. Okay, I'm just going to let my video from 4 or 5 years ago play here in the background. So, this is a company that's been around. It's got, millions of miles on their existing vehicles. They have revenue, they have sales, they have products. The company they are working with, I believe, for this merger previously mentioned, is in the same, almost exactly the same business, very similar. They have a hybrid truck, and they're in Detroit, so they're U.S. based. Workhorse is U.S. based, okay? So I think they meet all the criteria for the big beautiful bill. And I don't know, I think this plays out to be, we got till the 28th. Anything can happen, okay? Anything can happen. This could fall apart, or they could change the terms, or it could go past the 28th. But right now, the deadline is the 28th. And, I don't know, I think, there's very little information on this. I would think the management at Workhorse would entertain this because, the stock at $2 is in danger of getting delisted. And, these shorts are just horrible. They manipulate the market. And when you have a stock at $2, it can get pushed around really bad. And, the shorts will come in and they'll just, BlackRock will come in and take this whole company out. So I would say that the odds are that they are, I would say 51-49 that Workhorse is for the deal. Now, whether the other side have found some skeletons in the closet, I don't know. But I think certainly if European money wants to get in, and it looks like private wealth management wants to get in, this is, in my opinion, a really good play. EV sales are down, but fleet EV sales, they're pretty steady. And this Amazon, this delivery drone angle, and that could be not just Amazon. That could be Walmart or whoever. Technically, Amazon is the biggest player. But if they put this all together, certainly I think they'd be a takeover target by Amazon. But I'm sure, I'm not sure on the profitability of either company. But it's not like these are startups. This company's been around for a while. Anyway, that's my take on it. It's an interesting story. We'll see how it goes. I think I'm in favor of this deal. Okay. So yeah, this is how the miserable failure of the Amazon drone program. I got to tell you, they're begging. So, like I said, takeover target, subcontractor. I don't know. Or Amazon, doesn't Amazon hire other companies to do their last mile? I think they do. Maybe that's the play. Anyway, this is MXUX. I hope you liked the video. I've got a new camera here. I'm got the wrong